Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Somehow like Marco Obama. Oh, sorry.
Okay. And it's also sponsored in the ring. But wait, what did
I
you
didn't
say?
sponsor. I just
Lilo Das Baruch. Birthday would have been today.
Okay.
Okay, hello everybody. Okay, so this is very chill, very relaxed. Anybody who has anything they want to say or ask or share, we're going with it. Okay, so we're gonna start with the premise that Hashem knows what He's doing. That's gonna be the foundation of foundation of everything. Once we get that Hashem knows what He's doing, then we're gonna start with theoretical, and then we're gonna move down into practical, real practice, things like that. Okay? So Hashem knows what He's doing, and Hashem made you the way you are. He made you with your personality. He made you with your energy. He made you with the things you're good at. He made you with the things that are hard for you. He made you the way you're meant to be. So instead of trying to change yourself into what society deems as the right way to be, let's go with the fact that I'm a Yid. I have an Hashem. Hashem made me with special character traits, and I'm going to use them to serve Him. That goes throughout our entire life, through every aspect, and it also goes into meal prep. Because if we don't go there, then we can get swept away with the sea of perfection and what is supposed to be. And some of you really might have that personality where like making a salt crusted standing rib roast is what you should be having for lunch every single day, and you should chop it up into Pinterest worthy containers that are rainbow color coordinated in your freezer in a lucite bin that are labeled. Like that really might be you. But other people like me and other people are not like that, and that's not bad, and that's not like a flaw, and that's not something we're supposed to hide. That's the way Hashem made it. The only reason that that's not really like socially accepted is because it doesn't really make so much money, right? It makes a lot more money when you're selling fancy containers, fancy foods, and people are like, whoa, you're so unattainable. How that's what gets attention. But that doesn't mean we should all be like that. So we're gonna go with who we are. So we're gonna play a little game and ask 7 questions. And if you think the first response is you, raise your right hand. If you think the second response is you, raise your left hand. And hopefully these 7 questions are gonna help us narrow down like who we are, how we are, what type of meal prep is gonna work for us. So the first question is, someone hands you a free muffin and it looks delicious. What is your response? Right hand is like, thank you so much, yum, like I'm saying a bracha, eating it right now. The left hand is like, thank you so much, and you're like, what is in this? Okay, what are the ingredients? How was this made? Which one are you? Yum, what is in this? Okay, there's no wrong answer over here. And both of them are right. It's just about getting to know yourself. Okay, the next question is, how often are you going to Empire Kosher? Do you do 1 shop a week or 1 shop every 2 weeks, and you're stocked and you're ready?
1 finger, 2 fingers, 1 hand.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, you're right. Left or right is too complicated. So 1 finger is the first one, 2 fingers is the second. I like that idea. Okay, so how often are you going to Empire Kosher? Are you going to Empire Kosher once a week? Or are you going like every day? Like, I forgot something. Oh, I need to eat again. Like, okay, great. Next question. You made a really yummy chicken dish. Like, it's delicious. It has potatoes. Like, it's really, really good. 1 finger if you're eating it all week and you are proud and happy. And second finger is like, it's the second day in a row that you're eating the same dish and you're a little bit done. Okay. It's so cool to see everybody so different. Like, I love it. Okay. Next is you finish cooking and now you have the aftermath of your kitchen. And the sink is full of dishes and the counter needs to be wiped down and like everything is a mess. Are you like, I'll deal with that later, let me enjoy what I made, number 1? Or are you like, I need to clean this now before I can even relax and enjoy what I made? 1, 2. Okay. Okay, we're almost done. We've got 3 left. Okay, next question is, what is your opinion on decanting pasta? It comes in a box. It will stay in your pantry just fine. But some people want to take it out of the box and put it into a prettier box. And there's so many reasons that could be. Either it looks pretty or you're not using the whole box at once. What'd you say?
Pests.
Pests, exactly. Or like you're only cooking half of it, so like you want it, you don't want pests getting in. Exactly. So if you're pro decanting pasta, 1. If you're anti decanting pasta, 2. Okay. And 2 more. Schnitzel. You just made schnitzel. It is hot and delicious. Are you only eating it when it's fresh and hot off the frying pan? Or is it fine 2 days from now? Like you'll eat it cold or you'll reheat it? 1, it's fine, only fresh. 2, it's fine a few days later. Okay. And last question is, you see a recipe. It looks incredible, but it has 15 steps, like legit 15 steps, but it looks amazing.
No.
Are you one like, okay, life is way too hectic now, but I'm saving this for when I have time? Or like 15 steps? Never, ever is that going to happen. Which one? 1 or 2? Okay, so cool. So you all just saw how different we all are and how all of it is good. Now, based on those questions, you could start to figure out what type of meal prep is going to work for you. We're going to develop it. So we're still in the theoretical. We're going to get down to the practical soon. So before we get to practically deciphering like what's what and how we're going to do it, let's do a little perspective shift, which is some people love to cook. If you really enjoy cooking, you're just lucky because it's something you have to do every single day. You need to eat. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, we eat every day. It's a thing to be grateful for. And you need to cook. Now, if you love doing what you have to do, love isn't the right word, right? You love Hashem, you love your, whatever. You enjoy cooking, then that's great. Other people really don't enjoy cooking, right? Now, none of that, neither one is right. The question is, how can we get to a perspective that's going to be productive for us, right? Like, if you're of the opinion that cooking is so fun or it's so relaxing, like, can't wait to try a new recipe, I just came home from work, I can't wait to try something, or I have a day off, I'm going to bake something delicious, like, go for it, and that's amazing. If you're of the opinion of, like, again, like food again, we have to deal with this again. So then, what'd you say?
Both.
Both. Okay, so that also, okay, we'll get there, but also our perspective shifts depending on what's going on in our life. But the point is, it might not be working for you to be stuck in a place of like, this is such a nuisance, like I need to do this. It might be better for yourself to try and frame it differently and come to a place of like, this is actually a holy thing, right? Like Hashem wants me prepping food because that's what makes me able to serve him. So it's not like, oh, I wish I could be learning right now, or I wish I could be doing a mitzvah, doing something useful instead of cooking. Like, it's like, no, like instead of learning, like Hashem wants you cooking right now. Think about it like that. It makes it a little bit easier. You're not wasting your time, you're serving Hashem. So now that you're the adult, right? There's no one cooking for you. You're the one in charge of cooking. So when you were younger, it was someone else's job to make you, nourish you, right? Whether, depending on their personality and their resources and what was going on, was how they did it. Not everyone had the same thing, but you weren't in charge, right? A 2-year-old is not in charge of feeding himself. Now, you're the adult now. We're all the adults now. Now we need to be the one who's nourishing ourselves. Now, sometimes it's not so easy to nourish yourself, but you deserve it. We really all do deserve it. So coming at it from a place of like, imagine someone you love was coming over after a long day of work. Like, what would you do for her? She just came home from work. Would you make her a hot soup? Would you have a batch of cookie dough frozen in the freezer so you could heat it up and have a fresh cookie? Like, treat yourself the way you would treat someone you love because you deserve it. So when you have the perspective of like, Hashem made me a certain way, he knows what he's doing, I'm not flawed, I am exactly the way I'm supposed to be. Meal prepping is not a waste of time, it's actually a mitzvah, and I'm going to nourish myself because I deserve it. Then we can move on to like more practical parts, but coming at it from a different perspective can help. So Another thing we need to talk about, which is what you mentioned before, which is like it's both. Sometimes I want to and sometimes I don't. The same thing. Life has seasons and we go through times, right? Sometimes everything's amazing and Hashem should bench all of us, and every year that everything should always be amazing, with only revealed good in every single way. Sometimes, chas v'shalom, but in reality, sometimes things are really not amazing and things are really hard, and we go into survival, and that really is a really big virtue. It's a good thing that we're able to go into survival mode because we survive, right? And survival mode is it's real. It's real. Sometimes all you can do is just there's cereal in the cupboard. My husband's English, that's why I'm saying cupboard. There's cereal in the cabinet, and there's milk in the fridge, and you can just like you eat a bowl of cereal and you nourish yourself, and that's good. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes having cereal and milk, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually amazing that you're able to get yourself out of bed and do what you need to do, right? You're showing up to work or you're showing up to your responsibilities and you're eating and you're in order to be able to do that. That's special. The problem is when we get stuck in survival mode because sometimes the season of life is hard and it's not going away so fast. Like Hashem could make a miracle and it could go away so fast, and we should have bitachon that He does. And Be'ez Hashem, He will. At the same time, living in Teva, you can only let yourself be in survival mode to a certain point because you do deserve better, right? Now, obviously, that's easier said than done because, like, if you're in survival mode, then there's a reason. You're not choosing it. You're not like, oh, like, I want to be going through something really hard right now. So, like, that's why I'm not showing up my best, right? That's not what's going on. You're actually going through something. But the question is, like, how to get yourself to a place where you're thriving in that season. So thriving is going to look different depending on what you're going through. Like your job is great and your life is great and everything's great. And then like, yeah, you're going to meal prep and you're going to be happy and and it's going to be great. And like, but if something's really hard, like how long are you going to let yourself just be in survival mode? And when are you going to come to a place where you can tweak little things that aren't massive, but can make a big difference in how you show up and in how you actually feel? So that's going to bring us to the more practical part of meal prepping, which is it's going to look different depending on your stage in life, and could look different depending on what stage you're in. It could also look different depending on what week you're in or what's going on more detailed. Like it really depends what's going on. So there's different types of priorities when it comes to meal prep. What would you think would be some priorities of like meal prepping? What are things that are important to you? Protein. Okay. So that would be like a health style, right? Yeah. Right? Like filling a protein quota or things like that.
Having 2+ meals.
Right. So you could have health be a priority. You could have budget or money be a priority, right? Like there's a certain amount of money that this is what it is and we're sticking to this. Like we can't go over it. What other categories could people want?
Being actually able to go out to the store and buy the stuff.
That's a good point. Yeah, there's so many things that could make it that's a big obstacle. Aside from the fact that like there's a massive snowstorm and like everything is closed down, like that's
over a week already.
That's like a real one. But there's also other ones. Like I had a client that I worked with. She's amazing, and it was really hard for her to go to Empire Kosher. And she's the only one who said it out loud. But like a lot of people are thinking this. Like it's super intimidating. Like you try and get in there on a Thursday, you can't even push your cart through the door, and then you're like, "Excuse me, sorry, I need to get milk, and I need to get like chicken," and it's just like, so, like that makes a lot of sense. So that's another one is time. I would say maybe time could be a priority, right? So we said money, health, time. When it comes to meal prep, some people
freezes.
Say it again.
If it freezes well or if it lasts.
If it lasts, right? So that would be time, right? How much time you want to spend cooking something versus are you making it every night? Are you batch freezing it? Things like that. So we'll get into that. And then another one could be like, I really can't handle dishes. Funny story about me. Okay, Baruch Hashem, this is a growth moment and it's not a very personal one. So it's an easy one to share. I really, really, really did not like doing dishes. Like as a kid, anytime my parents asked me to do the dishes, it was like, I'll do anything with the dishes. Like I just couldn't stand the dishes. So when I went to Eretz Yisrael and we volunteered at a soup kitchen, Shem wanted me to do so much tshuva for every time I didn't want to do the dishes. And they gave every girl a different job, and mine was to wash the dishes. The giant pots and pans, like the biggest pots I've ever seen. Like anyway, so if cleanup is something that's a big one for you, then that's going to affect how you cook as well, right? Also, like, depends how much space you have, right? If you have a massive freezer, that's going to be different than if you're sharing one little freezer with 6 other people, right? Also, some people want like fancy foods. Some people want exciting new foods. Some people want to be able to try, like, they want to cook a cookbook. Like, this is my year and I'm learning how to do like fancy recipes, and they buy a cookbook and they're cooking through it. Like, that's so fun for some people. Other people, it's like 15 steps. Like, I'm never doing that, Like, it really depends on what's going on. So basically, you figure out what your priority is, then you can figure out what meal prep works for you. So let's say budget is a big one for you, right? Let's say you want to start with budget. So it's easy to say, like, I'm not spending, I'll just throw out a random number, I'm not spending more than $30 on food this week. Like, yeah, you could say that, but have you looked at how much food actually costs, right? So, like, we could say, I looked at my paycheck and, like, $30, that's what it is. Go on Empire Kosher's website. Or if you're more, it's easier for you, go to Empire Kosher or whatever store you want to shop at and look through how much things actually cost and write it down. Figure out, can I actually do $30? Like, let's say I want to be able to eat whatever food you like. What do you like? Name out, throw out a food. Chicken. Steak, salad, apples.
You could get one steak for $30, maybe.
You can buy Sterling milk for $30. A lot of Sterling milk for $30.
What?
Not a lot, but you can buy just about a Sterling milk for $30.
That's true.
Like maybe like 2 bottles of milk for $3. Exactly. You're set for the week.
There you go. So, like, if you're making a budget, then like actually make a budget. Like, don't set yourself up for failure where like you make budget but you can't actually keep the budget because it's not possible, right? Figure out how much things cost. And if it's easier for you, write it down. Write it down. Chicken is around this price. Meat is around this price. Peppers cost this. No. And then you can actually make a realistic budget, and you can switch it up every week or however often you want to cook. And it's much easier because you actually know how much things cost, right? So now let's talk about, based on your priorities, if it's going to be budget, if it's going to be health, if it's going to be less mess, if it's going to be something that like you don't want to be cooking every night, so something that doesn't take a long time, you just cook in advance, things like that. That is what is going to be your plan, right? So it's like this. You're not going to have every priority, right? It's not possible. You can't have the fanciest meal, right? You're not making pesto lamb with a garlic aioli that also takes 2 minutes to prepare, or like realistically 15 minutes to prepare, and costs
under $30.
And is healthy, because like if you want to buy a healthy, healthy is very relative, I'm throwing that term out, but like let's say you don't want to go with mayonnaise that has canola oil, let's say, that's going to cost a lot of money already. Your mayonnaise is already $30. It's not actually, but like the point is, like, you're not getting everything. Not everything is going to work. So you need to figure out what is my top priority and what is number 2. And they can change. This is not halacha. It's just a guide for you that could like help you go. So some people, that's a good one. So that's perfect. That's a really good idea. You get your protein. What are your, do you mind sharing your priorities?
Protein, healthy fat, and some veggie.
So your priority is health mainly, and budget.
Yeah, like let's do it in a budget, but like my first thought is
your first thought is health. Like you'll spend more on it being a healthy food as opposed to exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be more delicious. That's not what I'm gonna spend more on.
Right. Exactly. So everybody is different. Like, and by the way, if health is your priority, like if you don't already, you might want to start reading labels because like there's food coloring and pickles nowadays, like literally everything.
Can I share that I was at your house when it was announced that food coloring was being abolished? The Simca in your house.
Yeah, that is true. We are very not so into that works. Food coloring. But at the same time, like let's say my priority is budget and health. Those are my two big ones. It does shift. Like Yom Tov time, I'll want to make things nicer than I will on a regular supper, right? Or Shabbos, I want to make it nicer than a regular supper. Things like that. But everybody has their own priorities and they fluctuate. So now we're gonna go with you got your priorities, or you'll think about them later, either or. What methods are there? So there are so many methods. I'll share the few that I've seen work with the amazing people I've worked with. And there's for sure more. And you might even come up with something different, and I would love to hear it. Because there's always cool ways. Just like everyone was holding up 1 and 2, and it was so cool to see how everyone's so different. I find it fascinating. Because like we really are so different, and really Hashem made it that way, and it's just very cool. Either way, going back, okay. So the one, let's say someone really likes to have exciting meals. So their thing is they want to make a new supper every night, right? This is for someone who cooking is relaxing, enjoyable. They just worked hard all day, or they have the day off. They want to make supper every night. Like that's fun for them. It also means they have a kitchen that they have access to, right? They're not fighting with other people, or not fighting, there's no like reserving the stove. Turns. There you go. Like taking turns is a big factor in one of your priorities. Like timing is a big deal, right? So if you want to make supper every single night and a new one, because like you're in your cookbook era where you're cooking a new recipe every single night, or you're just having fun with food, like go for it. At the same time, you might want to do yourself a favor of creating the menu. Choose a day of the week that you're making the menu. Okay? I don't recommend making your menu and your shopping list and shopping and cooking all on the same day. It's doable. It's totally fine. And there's plenty of times where I do it. I really have. Like, it's just, if you're new to this, it's overwhelming. Like, you're tired, you know? So, obviously, this is all my opinion. None of this, like, disclaimer, I'm sure I didn't say this, but, like, it's so obvious. Like, it's just my opinion. Do not have to take it. Just do what works for you. But basically, if you're someone who wants to make a new meal every single night, instead of having to go to the store every single night, make yourself a menu. I'm trying tacos tonight. I'm doing poke bowls another night. Like whatever fancy food you want, go for it, you know? But make yourself the menu, then make yourself a shopping list, and then save it. Save it so you don't have to do it again. Even if you don't want to have the same menu next week, maybe you won't mind having the same menu in 3 weeks. If you're a type of person that likes diversity, you could eat the same food once a month, right? You could save that menu every single Thursday you have that, or things like that. Why should you have to redo every single time, every single week, right? So that's one. Just making it, yeah, fine. Making it work. Making the menu, making the shopping list. Now, there are some people, and I know them, and like I used to be one of them, where it actually is easier for you to just go to the store and make your menu in the store based on how much things cost and what you're in the mood for and what looks like, what you think is going to work. And like, you didn't even think of that food. You didn't remember that food existed. And then you show up down the aisle and you're like, oh my gosh, flatbread. I'm making pulled beef pizza. And like, that is going to be like, I have leftover pulled chicken pizza. I have leftover chicken from the chicken soup and I'm going to put it in. And if that works for you, go for it. It doesn't work for most people. And at this point in my life, it doesn't work for me either, but it did. It did for a while. Then I found myself being like super anxious in the store. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, instead of spending the extra, whatever it's going to take before it's like.
Was it Empire Kosher? Because they're anxious regardless.
That's a very good point. It's a very good point. By the way, if you can fit it into your schedule, go to Empire Kosher when it's quiet. Yeah. Like, really, you can go. Empire Kosher opens at 8 o'clock in the morning. Even on Sundays.
And Fridays.
And yeah.
What?
That's true.
What time? What?
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Empire Kosher.
8 o'clock in the morning, we're in bed. Me.
So that's great. That's your priority, right? No one, and that's not bad. That's good. That works for you. But if weigh it out. If the anxiety of Empire Kosher is so much, it might be worth it for you to once a week wake up early, go to Empire Kosher, leave at 7:45, so you get there at 8 o'clock, so you finish your shopping, you can go home, take a nap. It might be worth it for you, unless you can't fall back asleep. That's something else, and it might not be worth it for you. There you go. This is a system that could definitely work. Exactly. So that's one system. So now you have another system, which is whatever, based on whether your priority is budget or time, these types of things, I'm cool with making not me, I said like this person would be like, they're making meat sauce and rice for the entire week. You buy a family pack of chopped meat. Again, this is if health is not your number one priority. Like if health is your number one priority, you're probably buying lean beef, right? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Okay, never mind. Well, some people it is. It depends, right?
If it's health or if it's food food, yeah.
It depends what type of health. Exactly. See, it's all so nuanced, which is really cool. Why you can tailor make it to your own life, like how Shem made it. Shem could have made it that like we only need to eat gray mush to be healthy, and like he made it such a beautiful world. Look at this amazing table, like so nice of him.
It is amazing.
Yeah, whoever made this table, it's gorgeous. You did it? It's really pretty. Thank you. Either way, so what were we saying? I lost my train.
She also makes
The ground meat.
Oh yeah? Well, yeah, okay, thank you. So another method of meal prep for someone that really doesn't want to make decisions. Like you come home from a long day, there's no decisions. I have one container of meat sauce. I have one container of rice, and that is it. And I'm eating it the whole week. And that really works. You're nourished, it works. But it doesn't work if you feel bad for yourself, right? If you're gonna start feeling bad for yourself, never like be the same thing every single night. Like that's.
There's a story of the guy who like every day was a tuna sandwich in his lunch, and then he would complain, and his friend's like, "So tell your wife." He's like, "My wife doesn't make it. I make it."
That's such a good story. It's so true. So it is so true, and like that's an extreme version. But I'm not saying you guys do, but I know I do. Like sometimes we set ourselves up in situations where we feel bad for ourselves, and like why? Like we don't have to do that. We really can be in a better place. It does take more energy, it does take more work, but it's so worth it. So if eating the same thing every single night works for you, and it works for a lot of people, it really does, then go for it. That's your go-to. Your menu is meat sauce and rice. You're gonna have a hard-boiled egg and a banana for breakfast, and you're gonna have a granola bar for a snack, and you want a sweet treat, so you bake a batch of chocolate chip cookies, and that's your week. And that is a beautiful meal prepped week for that person. What'd you say? Oh, that's assuming you get lunch at work. Exactly. Let's say if you don't get lunch at work, that's a big one. If you don't get lunch at work, so let's say
First you assume that we don't even go to work because we go shopping and then we go take a nap.
It's a Sunday.
Sunday at 8 a.m.?
Yeah. Sunday. You're right. The point of this is to not make assumptions. So I sincerely apologize. This is not about assumptions. This is about Taylor making it to your life. Okay, and then for lunch, let's say every single day you have a tuna sandwich. By the way, just saying, I know for a fact, tuna sandwiches freeze. I learned this as a counselor in Rhode Island. We worked for amazing shluchim. And
Rhode Island, also the whole fridge goes into the challenge.
What?
I don't know about that.
The whole fridge went into the challenge.
No, I wasn't involved.
Okay, so yeah, the counselors every single Sunday. No, I forgot which day of the week, but one day of the week we have to take our campers' orders, and whether it was like cream cheese or tuna or I don't remember what it was, and then and then trips that Sunday night we all made our sandwiches for like egg salad. That was probably one, yeah, whatever. I don't remember exactly, but the point was Sunday night we all got on our gloves. We were making like tons of sandwiches. We labeled them. They were in the freezer. And then trip day, they came out, and that was lunch. None of the kids complained. No one knew they were food. So like that could really work for you. Eat a tuna sandwich every single day for lunch, eat a hard-boiled egg and a banana every single day for breakfast, eat meat sauce and rice every single day for supper, and bake yourself a batch of chocolate chip cookies, and you're good. If that works for you, that's amazing. If you're bored, feel bad for yourself.
Or your health conscience, and you can't eat the same thing every day.
Exactly. Yeah, for real. Then you need a new plan. So we did 2 plans. One is someone who's cooking every single night a new meal, but at least they have all the ingredients at one shot, right? That makes it much easier. Now, I also like to backtrack. Like, there's totally nothing wrong with going to Empire Kosher every single night. I actually have a friend who, like, it really works for her. Her son is in playgroup right near Empire Kosher, and she literally every single day buys just what they need for supper, picks him up, makes it like it's totally fine. Everyone does what works, like you do what works for you. But if it doesn't work for you to be running to the store every single day, then you don't have to. Okay, so those were 2. Now let's do another one. Another type of meal prep is someone who doesn't want to be cooking every single day, but does not want to be eating the same thing every single day, right? So what works with this, we found, is like making a few things at once. So let's say I'm sticking with meat sauce because meatballs are tedious to me. Some of you would love rolling meatballs. I think they're delicious. I just made them for supper last week, and Baruch Hashem, they were really yummy. But for me to be like rolling out every single meatball, like I don't handle it. Okay, I'm sorry. Like I'm supposed to be the one who loves to cook. I don't. One of my clients once told me, "I'm sure you never buy Shabbos." I was cracking up. I was like, "My priority is budgeting, and that's the reason I'm not like most of the time I'm not buying Shabbos." But like, I have nothing against buying Shabbos. And if you come, you're all invited to come to Shabbos. You plenty of times will see a dip that's bought or things like that. Like, there's nothing against. Anyways, okay, I'm getting so distracted. Where were we? What were
Batch
we
cooking.
Batch cooking, right? Okay, so instead of so instead of making one thing, you're making a few things. So let's say you make meat sauce or meatball. Let's say you make salmon. That's not so budget friendly, but it still could be if you decide it's worth it for your wallet, right?
Chicken soup full of vegetables.
A delicious soup. Soup is amazing. Yeah. I mean, for some people. Other people are like, soup's not a meal. I don't feel full. And that's legitimate too. So like then that works. Do what works for you. But let's say a really yummy soup. You make meat sauce, you make salmon, you make rice, pasta, quinoa, you make hard-boiled eggs, you cut up cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, put them each in their own container. Or if you don't want to have containers, you put them each in a Ziploc. That's allowed, okay? It's not Pinterest, but it works. And you have beautiful Ziplocs that you can go through. And this way you actually know how much is left and how much isn't and what's going on. And then you come home from work, you buy some bread, wraps, whatever. Then you come home from work, and every single night, you're like, ooh, what am I making? Okay, I'm gonna do poke bowls. I have rice made, I have salmon made, I have cucumbers cut up, have some sauce, throw it on. I have poke bowls one night. I'm gonna do pasta and meat sauce the next night. I'm gonna do a salad for lunch with a hard-boiled egg. Like, and then you have the batch ingredients done. So that's a good one. And then how much time do we have, by the way? I have no. Okay, like if I need to end,
Can
just
I add
tell me.
that?
Yeah,
You
please.
could also do that, like keep out. Let's say you're doing meat sauce, you can make like a bigger batch and freeze it, and then take out like 2 portions for the week.
Exactly.
Or keep 2 out, and those will be for this week, but the rest will be for the
Exactly.
next week.
I'm about
And then you don't have to do this once a month.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. Exactly. Now, right before we say what Bula said, another option is just to prepare the ingredients plain. Like, you buy a family pack of chopped meat, you brown the whole thing, and then every night when you heat it up, or every other night, like if you put taco seasoning one night, you put tomato sauce a different night. Now, some people are going to be cringing like, ew, like the meat sauce is not fresh, and that's fine. You could feel that way. Don't eat it. Like other people are fine with it. And some people are like, I'm already dirtying a pan. Like, let's just make the whole thing with tomato sauce, and then divide it into containers, right? So really you have to do what works for you. The main thing is the plan. Now there's a third one, which is batch cooking and freezing, which is really helpful. Like, if you are making a batch of chocolate chip cookies, double it, roll half of it up in parchment paper, stick it in a zip freezer bag, put it in your freezer, and now you have cookie dough. And you come home from work, or your friend's coming over, or it's an exciting day, or you had a hard day, or whatever it is, you want a chocolate chip cookie, take it out of your freezer, cut 3 cookies, and you're good, you know? Or buy a family pack of chicken cutlets, schnitzel, bread the whole thing, and freeze it into individual portions. And then you fry up that night's supper, the rest is in the freezer, and exactly every single week on Wednesdays, you take out that chicken in the morning, and that night you're able to fry it up. Things like that. As your family grows, or as your roommates grow, like whoever you're cooking for, like you're gonna need more than one family pack. If you're cooking for all everyone does their own thing, right? So if you're cooking for your entire apartment, then you might need a few family packs, right? If you're cooking just for yourself, you need one family pack. But the point is, you can set yourself up and you can stock your freezer, and then you can shop your freezer. And shopping your freezer is so fun. It really, really, really is fun.
You never know what you're gonna find.
It's really fun. Let's say you're making sesame chicken, okay? You're already working so hard at making sesame chicken. Like, just double the salt. Just double it. Instead of putting 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, put 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. Like, just double it, put it in a Ziploc, and put it in your freezer. Now, of course, you can put it in a fancy container. But if you have a small freezer, just freeze your schnitzel, freeze your anything like this in a Ziploc, flat, and then stack them on top of each other. And there you go. You can fit so much more.
How do you get them not to freeze into each other?
You have to make sure they're
Parchment
dry.
Parchment paper?
You could try parchment paper. That's good. But usually they're a little wet. Like your hand was wet when you closed it or something like that. Counter was wet. No?
Possibly, but
Sometimes they'll also, if you know you're not going to for the first hour, lay them flat on because I've done this. You lay them flat on the cookie sheet, and then once it's partially frozen, it's nice flat shape. It's not going to get into the crevices and stack it up.
That's a very good idea.
that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes it's just how it's
The
freezes.
shape.
It doesn't have to be flat.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
The
Oh, did I leave it?
No, you're good. No, just right.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, what we established is you really, with a little bit amount of work, you really can set yourself up to thrive, and you're doing the work anyway. The question is when you do it. Like, is it you're so stressed out or so hungry or so tired or so resentful or so because you're really hungry and like you don't know what to eat? So that's hard, right? That's hard work dealing with that. Or is it setting yourself up at the beginning of the week to figure out what you're going to eat so you don't have to go there? And it's not a waste of time. It's a holy thing. And a few more things that I find helpful is like, especially if it's like, let's say latkes. Okay, latkes on Hanukkah. I make usually a big batch, and now don't tell people this, but like I do. My latkes are not fresh every single night. Like I did a big thing. I shredded all the potatoes. I shredded all the onions. I put in the salt, and yeah, it's gonna sit in the fridge for a few days, and they're gonna turn brown. But you know what? You don't even know because latkes are brown. So it's fine. And then on Hanukkah, you have fresh latkes, and you didn't have to peel and put a food processor and make a whole mess every single night. Like, so you really can do these types of, but other people will hear this. Like, let's say I have a good friend and like we were making potato kugel for Shabbos. I was making it on Thursday. And she was like, potato kugel on Thursday? Like, it's not going to be yummy. And I was like, okay. My family likes it. And when I served it to, it's fine with it. So like, some people need to have fresh potato kugel on Friday, and that's not bad. That's great. That works for them. It's a priority, and they make it work for them. For me, I would rather make it on Thursday, right? Same idea with whatever works for you. Now, a few more tips that I find helpful is like, if you want to be a person that is always cooking out of a cookbook and like always measuring, go for it. It's totally fine. If you want to get to a place where you can eyeball things and just like sprinkle salt, sprinkle garlic or not, I find that's much easier. Maybe you might want to start by measuring it out take a teaspoon of garlic powder, measure it out, sprinkle it over a salad, and see what it looks like. Eventually, your eye is going to recognize, oh, that's what a teaspoon looks like, and then you're going to be able to just do it without measuring it out. Those types of things are helpful because, let's say I have the same person, right? She is like amazing. No, I really like, we're very close. I really like her. She, like, every salad dressing before Shabbos is labeled in the fridge. It was measured out, like, beautiful. And I'm like, okay, what are we putting on this salad? A little this, a little that, and she goes crazy with me. She's like, how do you, like, everybody is different. You know what I mean? So you do you. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Like, they're all right. It's just about, like, what works for you. But then again, if I'm making a new recipe, I will measure it out if I have time and patience. And it depends also who's eating it and if they'll care and things like that. You know, like different things.
But if you're gonna do eyeballing,
Oh, don't eyeball. I mean, you could eyeball baking, but I don't recommend it. Yeah.
You have to be extremely experienced.
Yeah.
Or not care.
Yeah, but it's not just about taste. It's like texture and everything.
Chemical reactions that
Yeah.
are going on. Yeah.
You have to understand the science of it.
Yeah.
So I just want somebody that does the baking before because I do.
Yeah. So true. Also, so one thing that I really like is cookie sheets. You know, they're so annoying to wash, especially if you like put something like roasted vegetables. It's like all oily, whatever. You just put oil and then parchment paper on top, and then at the end, just throw it out, and you don't have to wash it. And that's amazing. At least for me, I just made this realization. It does. You still have to wash. Okay, I was a little too enthusiastic. You still have to wash it. But like you don't have to like scrub it and soak it and like question why you even decided to make this, you know? What'd you say?
She just puts another, like, she just takes off the old part.
Okay, so that could work. That's totally good. But you could get to a point where it starts to burn in your oven. Not that I would know, but like maybe, you know, sometimes you might like, yeah. So
Can I ask a question?
yeah, for sure.
In your personal opinion, do you think it's more cost effective for a single person to spend more money up front and let's say buy in bulk, or to buy multiple things in a shorter amount of time?
That's a great question. So it generally, obviously everything depends, but I would say in general, a family pack of something is less per pound. So you are saving money if you buy that. If something's on sale, stocking up on it, if you have the freezer space or the cabinet space, whatever, things like that. Yeah, for sure. And also it's like, it could save your sanity. Unless,
or like rice or like apples or the
Yeah.
things that could hypothetically go bad. You recommend, like, how do you
that's a good question.
portion that out?
That's a really good question. So you have to really think about how long you estimate. How long is it going to take me to actually use this? And am I actually going to benefit from it, or is it all going to spoil? Right? Because like a giant bag of rice from Costco, if you don't have a bug problem, it'll last a long time. That's definitely much more cost efficient than buying. They're way more expensive in smaller packages. At the same time, you need to have space to store that. It's big, you know? And also, is it actually cheaper if you're not driving to Costco, if you're Instacarting it, does it actually save you money after all the markups? It might, but you have to play that math game. If that's your priority, play that math game to figure it out. That's a really good question. And okay, I'm gonna end with one story, which is I remember being a little kid and I asked my mother if I could make the chicken soup for Shabbos. And Baruch Hashem, I'm very lucky, and I grew up in a kitchen that was like really just like, it's totally fine if you make a mess. And I know that that's not something to take for granted, especially in like more and more classes that I'm giving and people I'm meeting. Like there's a lot of people that really are afraid of mess, and it's legitimate. Like it makes sense. So this story is just a little cute thing. I remember as a kid, like, Mommy, can I make the chicken soup? And she said, yeah. And so I was like so proud of myself, and I peeled the veggies, and she put like a stool out for me, and I put them in the pot and everything, and then said, okay, sorry, time to put in the salt. And I literally remember being a 5-year-old kid, and I went, and I was so happy, and the salt, no salt went in that pot, like it was like it went everywhere, and my mother said, oh, Sarah has to go in the pot, and I said, oh, it's so fun. Like, I didn't even think that. Like, I don't even know why, but like, I really did. I was cracking up, and my mother was cracking up. And like, to this day, it's a joke. Like, if you meet my mother and you ask her about the chicken soup and the salt, like, she's gonna laugh. Like, she's gonna know exactly. She's like, how do you know that story? Like, so Baruch Hashem, I don't take for granted that I grew up with that. If you didn't grow up with that, everybody grew up with different things, and it's totally like there's nothing wrong with not growing up with that. But you can do that for yourself. You can adopt that method of like, okay, so I messed up. So I burned supper. So I made a mess. So this recipe is terrible. So I eyeballed it and it's way too salty. Like that has definitely happened to me. Like all these types of things, you can be forgiving. And when you cook with kids, you can also be sweet with them. And then that builds more confident cookers, chefs in the kitchen. So yeah, just Hashem knows what he's doing. He made us the way we are for a reason. And we don't need to be these Pinterest amazing things that are, oh, one more story. Okay, one more story. I had a client, she was super, super busy, like really, really busy, and she wasn't eating. And she's like, so we had to figure out like how she's gonna eat. She's like, I really want to eat salad, right? Everyone says you should eat salad. I really want to take salad for lunch every day. So we prepped her fridge, like the most yummiest salads with the dressings and the toppings and the crunchies, and I like, and we all made them in containers, so she didn't have to think about it. She took them, right? Fine. She, at the end of the week, she threw every single salad out. She didn't eat them. She took them to work and she didn't eat them. And she's like, that's it. I give up. Meal prep doesn't work. Like, works for some people. It doesn't work for me. Like, I didn't even eat them. So I was like, 1 second. What happened? Like, let's slow down. What happened? So we were talking about it, and she realized when her stressful job, sitting down and having to crunch a salad, she couldn't do it. This is not worth it. So we said, okay, so let's skip the salad. Just because society says you're supposed to eat salad doesn't mean you need to eat salad. And we made roasted vegetables. And guess what? They were soft and she was able to eat them and it worked for her. So really, like, do what works for you. Shem knows what he's doing and we should just have him shliach now.
I am. Thank you.
Pleasure, thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Like recommend
Ideas of what to make?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what style are you? Like, do you like cookbooks? That's what it like, yeah. So are you the type to follow a recipe or you want inspiration from a recipe and then figure it out yourself?